Thank you guys for being here today. My name is Adam Hernandez. I'm a training officer here at Consaga and Telco, and I work part-time at Etowah City Fire as well. I've been in the fire service for about 5 years now. It'll be 5 years this year, and I enjoy teaching and helping other firefighters grow. And today we're going to be going over ropes and knots. I know we just kind of went over this last week in our personal training here, so we'll touch on a little bit of it. Again, my name's Adam. We're going to go over a little bit, recap on some ropes and knots, kind of some of the basic knots we should know, and the kind of types of ropes we need to know as well, and then we'll kind of focus into bailout systems that we're kind of focusing on this particular subject. So, rope introduction. So ropes are widely used in the fire service. We know that, we use them quite a bit, especially search and rescue. We use them to lift up tools, so they're everywhere. And ropes may be our only means for rescue. So, we get stuck in a situation where we can't just carry somebody out. We've been on numerous of those calls that we have to wait for a rope team to come and help us out. So having that is super, super important. Ropes and knots are an important part of training. Again, we just did that last week because they are important. So there are certain knots, I think we went over 7 or 8 knots that are important for us to know, be able to tie accurately and quickly without hesitation. Some of those were the sheep or becket bend that we went over, the figure eight on a bite. We went over the half hitch, the bow line, and a couple other ones as well. And those are all super basic knots that we should all kind of be familiar with and working on. Today we'll go over a figure eight on a bite and some half hitches while we show how to properly hoist a axe with those particular knots. So before we jump there, so on the ropes there are 3 types of ropes. Technically 2, but I usually say 3. So we have what is the life safety rope, which is what we use in rope rescue and climbers use in rappelling, etc. It's a special designed rope. It's called a Kern mantle rope. So it has the fibers inside. The polyfiber is pretty tightly lined, and then it has an outer covering, kind of what you have sitting in front of you, but actually certified. This is a faux life safety. It's actually just a utility rope, just to give it some extra strength, but it's a similar design like that. Aside from the life safety rope, that is designed to hold 1 or 2 people, the weight of 1 or 2 people, and within that realm of life safety, you have both static and dynamic. So static doesn't have any real give, good for hoisting people, and the dynamic has a lot more give, especially for climbing. So when you see climbers kind of fall down and it bounces them up on like a movie or something like that, that's what that dynamic rope is designed to do, is to grab that absorption of that shock, so it's not transferred all the way into the person utilizing it. I say 3 because personal escape ropes are technically a classification of a life safety rope. I kind of put it in its own little section just because you don't normally use a lot of life safety rope in a bailout kit. It has kind of a different, a lot of them have a different style of rope, which is called a technora, which is basically a blend of a rope and webbing. And it's designed that way to give a little bit more dynamic, but also reduce the heat friction of bailing out and rappelling on some of the devices they use. And then aside from that, we have the utility rope, which is what we use for hoisting and just general tying off things. So personal escape rope is exactly what it sounds like. It's a self-rescue rope or kit for extreme situations. And it's designed to hold the weight of one person only. It's not designed for 2 or 3. You know, unlike Chicago Fire and, you know, Rescue Me, where everybody wants to carry 6 people down with them on this rope. It's not designed for that. It's designed for one person, and it should be replaced after 1 use. So a lot of these are one-time use device, which should be kind of self-explanatory. If you're jumping out of the building or escaping out of the building, 9 out of 10 times it's on fire. That rope is not going to really survive what comes after it. So it just needs to get replaced. That's a little bit tricky just because those kits are kind of expensive. So getting the replacement ropes from them are usually in the $100, $200 range, just because, again, the design and how they are built. But a personal escape rope should be a very last resort. It should not be our go-to. We should have an escape route in our minds always if conditions change rapidly. So we should always be surveying our environment, kind of marking and knowing which ways we came in and which ways we have out. You know, instead of bailing out of a window with a kit, can they bring a ladder to you safely that you can make it out of there without having to use your kit? Personal escape rope can support the weight of one person and fits easily into a small pocket or pouch, or packet or pouch. So a lot of them, again, they're a little kit. You can go in your regular pant pocket. A lot of times that people that are using these usually have a built-in bailout kit in their pants already. And I'll show you a picture of that in just a moment. And the personal escape rope is only used in extreme measures. Again, it's not to be used just willy-nilly. They are expensive to replace, and doing the skill can be dangerous as well. And the other note, or other thing to note when using a personal escape rope is the harnesses. So a lot of times people have an escape belt, it just has a little D-ring there, and there's a carabiner that connects to it, kind of holds the rope in place onto you. But when you use a personal escape system or a bailout kit, you're supposed to use a class 2 harness, which is a seat harness, which comes up here in your waist. So that gives you the full support instead of just solely on your waist. That could cause some damage if you would slip or fall, or that rope would give. That seat harness gives you a little bit better protection and ride down, and less injury. So this is what a bailout pocket looks like right here. So giant pocket usually has 50 or 100-foot rope in there, has a hook, carabiner, there's another carabiner on the other side, and this is just a plain escape belt. It just has a single D-ring. Now this pant here has an external bailout kit that they probably built, which is a pretty common thing these days, just building your own using, you know, life safety rope for that. And then they got a class 2 harness. It's a seat harness that goes around the waist and it comes through the thighs here. So this is the preferred harness for using an escape rope. Again, it just gives you a little bit more protection against injury. Instead of this just pulling on your waist, you've got it supporting on your legs as well. This is an example of the kit of the CMC. This is called the lever. So again, you can see most kits come with the hook, carabiner, the rope pouch, and some come with this kind of belay repelling device. This one's called the lever. So you can kind of pull on it and it'll let you drop down. Again, this is that Technora rope that I was talking about, kind of a blend of a webbing and a rope. That is a one-time use rope right there. So once you utilize it, it is done. This is another brand. Again, this is kind of a standard setup when it comes to a bailout kit, your carabiner, some kind of lever or belay device, hook, and rope and pouch. And these two are examples of just a kit you can buy and throw in your pocket, or you can hook to your belt and just have on hand. Got a quick little video to kind of show you how it kind of operates.
3 of your ex-boyfriends died. Sure.
You can kind of see he has what looks to be an external, which is kind of what Mike had brought last week, what we saw. Just a bag of rope that has a carabiner on one end. And so you see, this is a little different than those hooks that I showed you. This is another different style. With this, you kind of end up cutting a hole in the wall or underneath the sill there with the axe or halligan. Always make sure you clear the windowsill of any glass, and they create an anchor. And with this style, because it's simply just rope, you're basically wrapping it around your body, and then your hand is kind of the belay device. Now his rope looks like it came up a little. No, I caught on his SCBA, which is good. And that's what you want. You want it to come underneath that SCBA so it can grab and give that so it's not pulling on you. So that was one example of kind of using that kind of system. This is doing
Excellent, reliable, and easy to use. The lever escape system is the next generation of bailout equipment. When needed in bulk, with a quick pull, the full system is removed from stowage and ready for anchoring.
So you can see they have it
Each lever
put in their
escape
pocket.
system includes a Flash G or Flash 2 escape anchor.
So they've got their anchors, and you see on the tips it has a
fire escape pack.
kind of a triangle point on it.
CMC's Flash escape anchors are structurally optimized to be strong.
So you can see right here. So what that's designed to do is it has more of a square shape on it. So when you kind of hook it onto the edge of the window or the bottom of the sill, it kind of this part lays flat, and that's biting into it. And you've got to have to hold it down as you come out so that it grabs on. So once the weight is fully on it, it doesn't go anywhere.
Plus, lightweight, rated at
You see if I
13.5
can get that actual-
kilograms, bearing structures. Remote anchoring is hooked around
So there you
bearing
go.
structures.
That's what I was talking about. Once it slaps on there, it's kind of tightened in.
Hooked around load bearing
You
structures.
kind of keep your hand there to keep it from moving until that full weight is on it, and then it won't go anywhere.
Remote anchoring is straightforward. With two quick
This particular one
Flash G
allows you to do a couple of different ways of doing it instead of just biting into the
Once the
to the
system is
structure.
The lever allows fast and easy horizontal payout. It's
Again, that's that lever device I was talking. A lot of bailout kits are coming with something similar. It just kind of helps control your descent.
Intuitive to operate.
So that way you're not just flying out the window or trying to do it with your hands and burning your hands up.
Lever is rotated.
So. But what we are going to do is we are gonna work on our figure 8 on the bike. And hitch and how to hoist the ladder, or access the ladder. Alright, we weren't here last week. So, a bite is literally just the rope touching the other end. So, this is a bend, this is a bite. So we're just gonna create a bite, and then we're gonna do a figure eight, so you can just kinda come over it, around it again, and then come right up. Pull it through. Again, this rope isn't the best. And then you've created a figure eight on a bite. And all you do with that, you always create the hole just as big as you need. So it's gonna go around the head of the axe here. And then you're gonna just do a half hitch, which is gonna kind of come around it here. Come underneath. You gotta do two on this. So we'll do one kind of little, and then we'll do another one up here. How I usually do, I just like to loop it here, makes it a little easier. Do another one on this top part, and then you got figure eight on a bite with two half hitches to hoist the ladder, or an axe. Keep saying ladder. Hoist the axe up the ladder, or up onto the roof or the ceiling, whatever you're working on. It just makes it safer. I'll let you try that. Come underneath it. There you go. That's all she wrote. Figure eight on a bite with two half inches. Now, we're using a figure eight on a bite. However, you can use a clove hitch as well. A lot of people opt for a clove hitch. Yeah, that looks good. Looks good. And so that's the proper way to tie off an axe or halligan or whatever tool you might be sending up that has a handle like that. If we're setting up like a saw or something, we'll do a different knot, but axe or halligan, that's the best way to do it. You don't have to carry it up, the ladder with you. Take the end of the rope, do your knots, kind of set it up, and as you get to the ceiling, you pull it straight up. It just keeps it safe for everybody, and keeps your hands free. So, alright, I got a little quiz for you guys. Remember what we went over? Let you have